Hey everybody, it's me again. It's been a hot minute since I've been on the camera, around September. Figured since we're nearing the end of 2019, I want to just put up another quick video, just kind of share my thoughts about a couple things with you. So today we're going to be talking about a little of a hot button topic, transgenderism. Shots fired, I know. Um, but stick to the end of the video. Like watch it all the way through. Um, this is just my opinion on a couple of different YouTubers and mainly why you shouldn't listen to these YouTubers. Um, Again, links to the appropriate videos will be down below. So please watch to the end of it and then, yeah, let me know what you guys think. But without further ado, let's get on with it. So we are starting with an interesting case right off the bat. We're starting with good old Lainey. Now, I want to just make a disclaimer right here. I am going to call her Lainey because back when I used to watch Onision, yeah, I know I used to watch Onision. He just got too radical for me, so I stopped watching him. But back when I watched him, 2013, I think, it was Lainey and it was she. So for the remainder of this video, I'm going to refer to her as Lainey. Um, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. You can click off if you want to, but that's just how I'm going to refer to her. Mainly because I don't think she's transgender, and I'll go into that in a little bit. But the whole gist of this video is YouTubers who say they're transgender, who want to try to give information and like help their fans, and why I think you shouldn't listen to that person, why I don't think they're the best authority on this topic. Now, I'm not saying I'm an authority on the topic either. I am very clearly not transgendered. I am a man. I know I'm a man. I know I'm a male. So I'm not, you know, I haven't experienced what other people have experienced. But I don't think these YouTubers have experienced what they claim they experience either. Or I don't think what they're experiencing is gender dysphoria. So to start off, like I said with Lainey, there's just so much, and I don't even know where to start with her. Besides it being, directly tied to Greg. Let me start explaining why I don't think she's transgendered. For a long time, up until quite recently, Lainey has had no issue identifying as like a female, right? She was very clearly, to our knowledge, straight. She was married to Greg. When I was watching them, there was no inkling of any dysphoria, nothing in the works. And then all of a sudden, she first comes out as bi. She first comes out as bisexual, and that's already surrounded by rumors that Greg Onision pushed her into that, thus knocking down that first domino that started the chain of Billies and Ialaws and however many other people that, honestly, the amount of people stacked up against the two of them is just astounding. There's no wonder why Chris Hansen is on the two of them. But knowing that little rumor surrounding Lainey being bisexual and then possibly not wanting to get a girlfriend but being pushed by Greg into getting a girlfriend being Billy, it's quite possible that all of this new gender dysphoria is it's being fabricated. It's like being used for attention by Greg. Greg's pushing her, which is something you can see if you've ever listened to her talk, Lainey talk. She is still very much a fanboy, fangirl, big fan of Onision. Now, why do I say that? Why don't I believe that maybe she has dysphoria? Because to my knowledge, dysphoria doesn't happen to the extent that it seems to happen with her. I'm going to play a video real quick. We're going to watch a quick clip. Now, I didn't go through every one of her videos, mainly because I have finals tomorrow and I don't want to lose any brain cells. So what I'm instead going to do is I found a guy who compiled segments, about 5 minutes worth, of Lainey switching identities. We'll watch it in a minute, and you'll see how she'll go from I'm masculine, now I want they them. I prefer they them, but now I'm okay with he, him, and his. Okay, so I really like he, him, and his, but if you use they, them, that's fine. And also if you use her, that's fine too. But really, I want they, that, and it's trying to keep track of it, is like, you need you need like a police board with all the string and like the evidence board, to be able to keep track of what gender she is now. But enough of me talking about that right now. Let's go watch the video and you'll see what I mean.
I identify as agender, which to me means basically genderless. I mean, that's the actual definition. I don't identify as being a female or a male, kind of gender neutral, somewhere in the middle of those two things, but neither one or the other. I prefer they, them pronouns, but she and he pronouns are okay too.
I'm like scared I'm gonna look like a boy, but at the same time I'm like, well, that might look cool.
Oh my god, who is that dad? As far as pronouns go, a lot of people still use she pronouns for me, which doesn't really bother me to a great extent because I think a lot of people don't know.
What does he, she think is your best feature?
He, she.
He, she, trigger! I was assigned female at birth and I identify more masculinely, but not as a binary male. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily identify with the term non-binary. Like if somebody asked me what my gender was, I wouldn't say, oh, I'm non-binary. So I haven't really been identifying with the term non-binary very much. I prefer to just tell people I'm a guy and not make it more complicated than that.
So there you go. Thank you to Nestle Lowlife. I'm gonna use that footage. He's the one who compiled all those clips. He's got more. Go watch it if you want to. It's fun. He also made a compilation of writers, authors, and basically just book lovers ripping apart Onision's book for like 6 minutes. It's fun to watch. But yeah, you kind of heard it. It was a weird mishmash, wasn't it? It was like, oh, I'm agender, non-binary, but now I'm binary. But I'm non-binary, but I go by binary. But I'm him, his, she, him, she, hers. I go by they, but I'm actually he, hers, he, she. But I don't like he, she. I'm triggered by he, she. So I really don't understand. And then the other part that always gets me, and you'll see with the next person that we're going to talk about, is these two YouTubers seem to think that if you're female, if you're feminine, and you decide you want to dress more masculine, like if you want a boy's haircut, if you want to dress in tees and shorts and stuff like that, that automatically means you're transgender. You can't just, like, I saw a comment where you can't just wear comfortable clothes, apparently. You have to be transgender. Now, if you honestly feel that way, I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying that, you're wrong. But I'm saying that maybe you're just a tomboy. Maybe it doesn't have to be that you identify as a male, Now, again, that paired with the rumor about Onision makes me think that maybe she is just a tomboy, Lainey is, and that Onision's like, are you sure about that? I don't know, you sound like you might be transgender, because he's a manipulator. And she'll go for him no matter what. Again, other videos will say that she's still his biggest fan, so I don't know, it's kind of a weird gray area. But she'll sit there in another video, she'll try to give you like information like, oh, if you feel like you're transgendered, yeah, I'm not gonna go for the gene therapy, but if you feel like you're transgender, you need to go for the gene therapy if you feel like you need to go for it. Now, even people on her own video were sitting there saying, get help first, get information, talk to a professional, learn about gene therapy, learn about hormone therapy, learn about the surgeries, learn about what it means to be transgender, learn about all that before you immediately jump in on a important life decision like that. So, and I'd have to agree with them on that one, but I'll talk about that more later. This is just my opinion on it, but again, I don't believe that she's transgendered, and I don't believe that you should be getting your information from her, especially with the other grooming scandals that she's had alongside Onision. It just seemed really sketchy. I'll leave that up to you to decide if you feel like you trust her. Tell me why you trust her, or tell me why you don't trust her. So yeah, just leave, if you have any information, if you have any thoughts on Lainey, just go ahead and leave them in the comments. But now let's move on to our next person. And the second one, I'm willing to bet you that people saw this coming, but good old Trisha Paytas. Yes, she's been in the YouTube news quite recently for the same thing that we're talking about. She believes that she's transgendered as well. I'll put her video down in the description. We might check it out a little bit too. But the gist of it is it's a lot like Lainey's. She used to look very masculine, but now she looks more feminine. And really, it's like, it's weird. She says she's transgendered, but she's openly admitting to looking more feminine. And her proof of being transgendered is the fact that she doesn't find straight men attractive. That's a turnoff for her. Now, coming as a layperson, someone who's not in depth, who hasn't combed through the entirety of the LGBT handbook, or if that even exists, someone who hasn't read every article on the GLAAD website, someone who hasn't looked through everything pertaining to transgenderism, what Trisha Paytas is describing, and we'll get into that in a minute, we'll show the video, sounds more like lesbianism. Sounds more like she's gay. Sounds more like she's a lesbian. Because she also says that she thinks females are attractive. So to me, hearing a female who wishes to be feminine, who is not attracted to straight men, but who likes the way feminine people look, it sounds more like you are just homosexual instead of transgendered. But again, I'm not an aficionado on that. I'm not 100% sure. It's just how it looks as an outsider looking in. I still don't think you should really take her advice, because she offers advice on how you can identify at the end of the video. And again, I don't think you should take her advice for it, mainly because she has a history of doing things to stir the shit, to get attention, to get people to notice her. And she's flip-flopped like crazy. There was the mukbang artist creator that she was supposed to collab with, that was a big fan of hers, that she ended up ghosting just randomly after he already traveled from his home to her home, and it seems like it was a different city completely. And then she ends up kind of putting him on blast as like a weird like stalker, but she invited him in, so it doesn't paint her in a good light. That was one scandal. Something that pertains kind of to the political field, early on, like when Donald Trump was running, she came out all support of Donald Trump, but in a weird way, she would watch his rallies and say weird things like something you would not really hear a conservative say. Like for example, she watched one of his rallies, and at the end, apparently she looks at him, she leans into the camera, and she's all like, "I kind of want to suck his dick," and I'm like, full disclaimer here, I'm a conservative. I voted for Donald Trump. If that makes you not want to subscribe, I'm sorry to see you go. I don't want politics to get in the way of that. But you know what? If you feel like you can't support me, then you feel like you can't support me. That's fine. But we don't want her. We don't want her. If they say that, if they flip-flop, if they can't stay on one point that long, we don't want her. Take her. Someone, please. What's that Vine? The one chick who wants to get with a black guy, and then it's like every other one, it's like on TikTok, and like every ethnicity is passing her off, is like rejecting her, and eventually the whole world rejects her. I saw it on Instagram a while back. That's what we're doing here with Trisha. The conservatives reject her. Please take her. Someone else take her. We don't want her. Get rid of her. But then again, she might not even be a conservative, because I think she ended up flip-flopping on that and going and saying that, you know, she wasn't a Republican ever, but the video proof of her being a Republican was there. So she flip-flops a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future, I think it may have actually already happened, she flip-flops and says, well, I'm not actually transgender. Which to me is like a no shit, you know? But I've been rambling on about that long enough. Let's hear from her. Let's see what she says.
Girly now. I'm very girly, right? Because when I was younger, I was teased a lot because they said I looked like a boy. I had a boy haircut. I had, you know, just stuff I couldn't even control, like just hair on my lip, hair on my face. So people would call me like a man. Like there was one nickname, and it's not even funny. It's not even weird. It's not even like clever. They'd be like, Trisha the man Paytas. Like I swear, it sounds like I made that up. Like it's freaking weird. I didn't really get it then. I don't get it now. But they would just be like that I was like a man, and I didn't get it other than my lip. I know they made fun of my hair lip a lot. Anyways, so to overcompensate for that when I got older, like when I was like 18 and I could start like, you know, like spending money on my hair. But what was always stopping me was like, I always thought, oh my gosh, am I trans? And I know I like trolled and stuff in the past, and so I don't want people to think this is like a trolling video. I've known, like, I've like come out as like gay before, I've come out as bisexual before, and that's kind of why I have issues in general with just terms in general and like. Labels in general, like male, female, gay, straight, but because I don't know if I would say I'm confused, I would say I'm all of it.
Sorry. Good. It's not funny. It's not funny. Because there are actually people who suffer from that, right? There's actually people who suffer from gender dysphoria. I was good friends with one for the person for a long time who suffered from gender dysphoria, gender fluid. So it's not funny, but it is to hear her speak and like already call herself out, you know? Because if you watch the full video, so there's a segment in there where she says, I know I've trolled before. You know, I come out as gay, come out as bisexual, and that's why I don't like labels. But at the end of the video, she's like, you can have this label. So she already contradicts herself in 15 minutes. 15 short minutes, she's already contradicted herself. Another piece of evidence that I find incredibly funny is that she's saying that she might be transgender, because she was bullied as a kid, overcompensated when she became an adult, and now might be regretting it. So, by that knowledge, by that logic, anybody who was bullied as a kid has a right to completely I don't get where she's coming from this, where she's going with this. It's like, I don't get, that feels like a leap in logic to me, you know? The only thing that might explain that she could, you know, that might back up her being transgender is the fact that, you know, she's mentioned that she's had, like, penis envy, right? Now, I don't know if that's, I don't know. I don't know if that's an actual thing. I don't know. But, like, it feels off. It feels like a troll, you know? It feels like she's trying to garner sympathy. It feels like she's trying to ride a wave, and it feels like she's doing a pretty piss poor job at it, you know? And I'm not the only one. If you go down and you watch, like you read the comments on that video, you'll see all sorts of people calling her out, saying, oh, she's not the clown, she's the full circus. Oh, it's not that you're attracted to gay men. Being attracted to gay men doesn't make you transgendered. It makes you the opposite of James Charles. You know, it's people, nobody really buys it, right? And I think that is the issue here. I have a big PSA that I kind of want to give. We'll do that at the end. In fact, we'll do that right now. We'll just move on to the last segment. I don't really have anything else to say about Trisha Paytas. I think she's a clown. I don't think she's telling the truth. Her track record proves otherwise. Her track record proves that she's most likely just doing this for attention. Yeah, let's move on. Okay, so this is the last segment. We're not talking about anybody. Instead, I'm just talking candidly to everybody here. So I brought something up briefly when talking about, like Trisha Paytas and all that, right? About how people who actually suffer from gender dysphoria and why this is, I don't think you should be listening to these people. And I'm going to go in depth as to why I feel like what Lainey and Trisha do is actually dangerous as a whole. I'm of the belief that as long as you aren't hurting anyone, you should be able to do what you want. As long as you're not hurting anybody, live your life. As long as you're not imposing on the rights of other people, live your life, do what you want to do, be who you want to be. But I feel like there should still be some level of sympathy because, belonging, having a sense of belonging, having a sense of wholeness is important, So to see people online take something and use that to kind of make a name for themselves, it feels wrong. It's definitely disingenuous. But it feels like they're making fun of it, Now, I don't know how many people suffer from gender dysphoria. I don't know what the full impact of what they do is, but I do think that they're causing it to be harder for someone, because there's going to be someone out there who's going to see Lainey, who's going to see Trisha, who's not going to believe them, who's going to know their track record, and who is going to immediately lump every other transgender person in with that one person, in with Lainey, in with Trisha. And I feel like that could cause more harm in the long run. Again, full disclaimer, like I said, I'm not the one who goes to the pride rallies. I'm not the one who's read up on all sorts of LGBT material. So I could be talking out of my ass for this whole thing. I could be completely ignorant to everything. In fact, I probably am. But coming from a human logical standpoint, I just feel like what they are doing is dangerous to society as a whole. So instead, what I'm going to do is, instead of demonizing them even more, I've already given my opinion on why I don't think they're telling the truth. Instead, I've put a link in the description to the GLAAD website talking about transgender, getting info about transgenderism. If anybody watching makes it to this point and thinks, you know what, maybe I might be that. Maybe I have some sort of gender dysphoria. Something doesn't feel right. Go down below, read about that on the GLAAD website, see where that takes you. Look up gender dysphoria, do your own research, talk to people who are actually transgender, talk to professionals, learn about the hormones, learn about the surgery. Just get as much information as you can. It doesn't hurt anything. Don't listen to these people who are most likely doing this for attention, for those sweet, sweet YouTube clicks, because nothing gets people to click a video faster than a hot button topic and a new out story. Make your own decisions. Don't trust this person who has a reputation of being a groomer or has this reputation of being a liar, being a troll. Don't let this person tell you what you need or what you can do. Make it up for yourself. You may end up actually having gender dysphoria and feel like you might need to transition, right? You might want to start looking into how to transition. Great. You might not need to transition. You might just find out, you know what? I don't have gender dysphoria. This isn't really what I have. Maybe I got something else. Maybe I'm just a more effeminate male, or I'm a more masculine female. Maybe something like that, But do your own research. Come to your own conclusion. Talk to a professional. Talk to someone. Talk to your family. Don't bottle it up, and don't go to YouTubers like Lainey and Trisha for your information and for your advice on how to live your life. Beyond that, I think that's going to be my time for today. I'll see y'all next time. Hopefully not another 3 months later. We'll see, though. Maybe just 1 month. Anyway, see ya.